Podcast Evolved, your home for Halo.
Welcome, Spartans, to Podcast Evolved, your home for Halo. I am your host, Aaron, and with me today we've got Krista.
Hi.
We've got David.
No, November is definitely winter.
And we've got Oren.
Are you sure?
I agree. Like, it's kind of cold. It's not snowing here, but it's no longer fall.
This week's topic concludes our lore series on the road to Infinite. We are doing, well, what's actually going to be quite a busy Halo Infinite preview episode because there's already some Halo Infinite out. So that's going to be today. I don't expect us to have done any Halo because nothing really happened in the world of Halo in the last week. But
nope, nothing.
We'll give it a shot and we'll start with Krista because she spoke first. Krista, have you done anything Halo related?
No, I haven't. I'm just so excited for Halo Infinite to come out. I just don't want to play any Halo. I've just been sitting here waiting. That's it.
If only 343 could give us some Halo.
Yeah, I wish they could give us just a little something to tide us over until the full game comes out, but they're not very interested in, making their fans happy, so.
Yeah, like some sort of flight or open beta, maybe a demo, might be enjoyable. Yeah.
Maybe.
Too much to hope for.
Yeah.
So, how have you been getting on with with Infinite?
Surprise! They just dropped the multiplayer.
Yes. And, there was even an internal chat that we had of, hey, so all these rumors are coming out that we're going to be getting the multiplayer early, and there was, two camps within our chat where, Colin and
Oh my god, there were so many doubters. Colin was a doubter.
Dude, I was a doubter. I'll say it.
I was adamant it wasn't happening.
They didn't believe hard enough. They don't deserve to play. I was sitting there these guys are going to feel really fucking stupid.
Well, I tell you why.
When it drops.
I didn't want it out. Because I have a very tight gaming schedule. I had everything planned out for December the 8th. I had gonna get my backlog done. There was certain games I wanted finished, and now they fucked it up. Bastards.
Here's one of the comments from our chat. Interesting to see how many people are actually believe multiplayer is dropping. Power of social media in full display. See, I have receipts, you fucking doubters.
Did I say that?
I was taking screenshots. I'm like, they're gonna feel really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
That was Colin, yeah.
Was it Colin or Ian that basically said they understand now why people believe in Q? I think that was Ian.
Yeah.
He was that on board with this, wasn't he?
You know what? That is why people believe in Q, because it's real.
Oh, Krista.
Not
Oh,
really.
God.
Not really. I'm joking. Don't hate me. That was a joke. Thank you.
That's all right. So
funny.
you've been enjoying your time then?
I'm a filthy betrayer. Let me tell you. I have not played it once on my Xbox Series X.
PC?
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
PC only. I've been getting that 144 FPS. Mwah, beautiful. Mouse and keyboard's really fucking tough, though. Holy shit. I'm really bad at it. I'm not used to mouse and keyboard at all, so it's what's the button for grenade again? And then I just, type everything on my keyboard. Eventually it works, though. But I have just been plugging in my Elite controller and playing.
Don't you have to just type out the word grenade and he throws it? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, it's a typing simulator. Forward, go forward, go forward.
That's in game on PC, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly. Though using the mouse makes it really easy to go through all the menus and customization. And
I would say so.
But yeah, I'm a filthy trader. Oh. Also, if you have an Elite Series controller, all you need to do is plug it into your PC, and then all the presets you set onto your Elite controller immediately transfer over. It's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was great. I was like, shit, I gotta reconfigure this whole thing, and then it was like, nope.
No, I think they actually live on the controller now. So if you plug that or connect it to a different Xbox, it should remember your profiles and presets. I think they live. Yeah, they live on the controller. I can't remember if that was the case for the Series 1 because I never took it anywhere, but I'm pretty sure for the Series 2 they live on the controller.
While we're on the topic of Elite controllers and controls and stuff, this is my first time I got the Halo one. It's fucking beautiful, right? I've been trying to like use paddles and extra buttons and shit because I'm like, oh, extra buttons is great. When you go into the profile, you have to use the paddles to duplicate another button on the controller. Is there any way to just have it as its own button?
No.
Yeah, sense? There's like a menu you can go down. Oh, you mean like have something completely different?
It can't be its own button because games don't. That's what don't make it. Because then it's like, okay, if this button does this certain command, like it can't remap it to a different thing.
That's what I was thinking, because I was going down through the control options, even like within Infinite, and I was like, okay, there's a shit ton of buttons that like stuff on the D-pad or clicking. Let's say I didn't want my melee to be clicking, I wanted melee to be one of the paddle buttons, but like the paddle button has to duplicate the click, so it's like the only way to get it to do that is to have click as melee and then just push the paddle button. But like I thought I could then free up the click, do you know what I mean? Or free up a button. It's kind of what I wanted to do.
You can remap the click, like, well, you could do that if you say if you need to click left stick to sprint or whatever, you set that on the paddle. You could then disable left click on the controller or reassign left click to another button, but you're always, because the game's set to take the inputs, all you're doing is juggling them around. So like
that, I was kind of bummed by that. I was kind of hoping you could just have the paddle buttons as being their own buttons and make them do whatever you want, but you don't.
No, you're only two.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Oh. No, I was going to say they have to do a function of whatever it is. The only other things they can do are the non-game functions, like volume up, volume down, take screenshots and shit like that. But I have them. My two right paddles are the top one is change weapon, the bottom one is reload, and then I think the left one I have sprint and ability as the two paddles. So that's sort of how I work my way through it. But you could then disable those buttons on the face of the controller or whatever, or turn them off, but you can't create a new like custom command, so to speak.
It's not really a custom command.
You can on PC.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to do like a PC where you could just like map it to like any button to anything. And be like, okay, I have an extra button because my controller has 4 extra buttons, but I don't really. I just have duplicates of buttons already on the controller.
Yeah, it seems that like basically the paddles are so you can remap the ABYX to the paddles, so then you don't have to move your right thumb to press one of those 4 buttons. It's like the most common use, but you could like whatever your thumbstick clicks could also be, like Aaron said.
That's what I'm doing. I'm remapping the D-pad ones because I won't take my.
I will say, like, if I had an Elite controller, the first thing I would remap is change grenades, because every Halo game, I hate moving my left thumb to the D-pad to change grenades because it always just fucks me up. So like that would be one of my paddle buttons, and then probably like change weapons or something. So again, I don't have to move to the Y button in the middle of a gunfight.
Go get yourself an Elite controller.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't want to pigeonhole myself, but we'll see.
The problem is once you get one, you can never go back.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
As you two can find out if you go and watch my review of the Elite controller on YouTube.
Oh, good work.
Yay! I liked the spinny thing you did. It was very cool.
I'll have to watch this
that was all
video review you guys keep raving about.
All that beautiful... All that beautiful photo and camera work is compliments of Colin. That wasn't mine. He promised me he would take nice photos if I did the audio.
Colin went all the way over to your house to take videos?
He did. It was really nice.
Damn.
Wow. That's awesome.
He's a good guy, yeah. Everyone, or almost everyone involved, definitely didn't buy Elite controllers. That's not like a thing.
No, I didn't. I didn't get a Halo one. I have my black one.
No, but you still have one, so it's just... Is it just Oren and, like, Matt? Is that it?
Are we the only two that don't have an Elite controller?
I think so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess we gotta give it the times.
You do.
We should all engrave
Boomers.
our Elite controllers with Podcast Evolved.
How dare you? Don't touch my Elite controller with a laser.
It's already been lasered multiple times. I don't think it would appreciate it. Does anyone else, before we jump into the lore, anyone else got any thoughts on the multiplayer? I suppose we've all kind of chipped in so far.
Yeah, I suck at it, but I do like it. I think it's really slick. I didn't play any of the flights on purpose. I didn't really want them, to be honest. And I do definitely feel behind. Straight away, a lot of people are pretty damn fucking good at this game. There's the maps that I've played so far are all great. I actually really like them. I am not used to the weapons. I've done a ton of the kind of weapon drills just to kind of get myself around it. I'm not too familiar. The BR is dope, I'll tell you that much. Anyway, it's pretty slick. I've mixed feelings on the pistol. I'm not sure how I would feel about it just yet. But there is some good stuff. Some good vehicles feel really powerful. You feel I did pretty well in the Gun Goose recently. I know it's good. It is a very, very good multiplayer. It feels amazing right now in terms of everyone in the world is fucking loving Halo, and it feels pretty fucking good to be on this train right now. I think they did a really good job that. The presentation on the 15th, the anniversary thing, was really fucking cool. I liked how short it was, consistent. It was pretty damn cool, and I think they did a really good job kind of launching this game.
Yeah, I've been fairly impressed with it. I was very impressed with the fact it didn't burst into flames the second it launched. It was a little ropey here and there, and I had the odd disconnect from a match, but it worked, and it didn't bring Xbox Live to its knees. Do you remember way back at launch of the Xbox One when Titanfall came out and Xbox Live just died on its ass and people couldn't get signed in, and you could only play if you were already signed in before it all died and all this shit? But everything just ticked over.
Apparently it's also kind of really weird. Let's say 2 weeks before this, when Forza went live, that fell apart. So it's weird that they were on point with Halo but we're not ready for Forza, which I thought was weird.
Yeah, I still don't understand server loads and all this kind of stuff, because every 9 out of 10 games just have issues with it, and it's you would think that after so many games having all these problems that that developers would figure out how to do it, but because we're not in the industry, my frame of reference, I guess it's it's still challenging despite the industry-wide sort of collective information on it. I guess it's a case-by-case basis, and whatever 343 did with their flighting, they're able to prevent that. But Battlefield 2040 whatever is having problems, and the other Call of Duty, and it's these people, those developers have been making games for so long. I wonder why these server problems still exist.
I think, my vague layman's understanding of it from listening to guys like Giant Bomb talk about it is the crowd you get in the first week of your game launching will never you'll never get that number of players on at the same time ever again. So they just make a decision and go, we'll have the standard amount of servers, we'll put a few extra on, but we're not going to spin up and rent more for only a week. Whereas Microsoft, in theory, don't have that problem because they also own the servers. But
then it's weird that Forza wasn't good. Do you know?
Yeah, that's what I wonder. Was it, was it a problem with not having enough servers then, or was the game wonky or something? I don't know. When I got around to Forza, it seemed to work okay, but no, that's merely been my takeaway from it. Is it just seemed to work, and apart from a few weird moments when me and Tom were playing, we had pretty consistent matches, and I've enjoyed it too. I've realized the same as you, David, I suck ass at multiplayer, and this is why I lived in Warzone Firefight in Halo 5.
Yeah, well, it's been years since I played any kind of Halo online consistently, and I think I will probably do it for this game. My brother has gotten into it, which I really enjoyed, both my brothers. So that's going to be a big driving force for me, because if they're going to be online, playing, I can get in with them. And I don't spend a lot of time getting my brother, so that's a real good incentive for me to do that. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. The only other thing I'll say on this is the first game that I've ever had to pay attention to the words Battle Pass. And I have no idea or really any understanding of what the fuck a Battle Pass is or does. So like when I logged into Infinite, I was like, there's all these shit popping up. It's saying Battle Pass, there's XP, there's challenge. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You can buy this thing and skip ahead and do that thing. But like, what the point is that? Oh, it's totally blowing my brain. This Battle Pass stuff. It seems grindy to fuck. But I know they've also like extended it to like May next year. So like, they're probably trying to make it last. I see a lot of other people, other podcasts of talking about you're not getting XP for anything just by playing the game. You have to do the challenges, which feels kind of a bummer. I wonder if they'll change that or do anything about that. Because if you're just playing for the sake of playing and like you're not going to get experience, you get nothing out of it.
Yeah, they have made some changes, and
have they?
Like I played. Yeah, I think you get 50 to start with. You get 50 XP every game, and then I believe it might go up from there.
No, it stays the same.
It's just 50 every game.
Yeah, it used to be like you play. Like basically they have their dailies and their weekly challenges, and so their daily challenge is based off of just playing games. The old system is you get 100 XP for completing one game, and then it would reset and you do it again and get 100 XP, and then again, but then the fourth time it would be now complete 2 matches to get 100 XP, and then after like 2 or 3 of those, then like complete your 5th game or your 6th game, now complete 3 to do that challenge. And so like the more you play, the more games you would need to play to get your 100 XP. So that's where people were saying that like, oh, I'm not getting anything after a match because I would play one match and it would progress my daily of play 3 matches because I've already played 7 matches. So then they changed it to where now it's just a flat 50. No matter how many games you play, you get 50. But then, because the internet's the internet, is that they took the old system and put it right next to the new system. And if you were to do like total experience earned over X games played, you won't technically start earning more experience in the new system until you hit like game 23 or something, because it's only increasing by 50 under the new system. So it's kind of like a 1 step forward, 2 steps back scenario, because now you're getting 50 experience after every single match played, but the net total is lower. And that's only one of the issues with this battle pass.
Yeah, there's a few things with it. I'm not sure what all they'll need to do to it. Handy tip though, if you are trying to complete some of your weeklies, the non-PvP ones can be completed in the bot bootcamp. So if you any of those things where it's kill a Spartan with a Mauler or with a BR or things like that, you can jump into bot bootcamp and complete those. It's only the ones that specify PvP or ranked or whatever, those ones you have to do in real matches with real people. But I did that Friday night. I think I went from 27 to 31, and that was sort of that was maybe an hour dicking about doing those. So like, it is a way to get that done if you want to go through some of the easier ones.
Yeah. Another tip for the battle pass is to like, if you have challenges that are like get X amount of kills with this gun or destroy X amount of vehicles, is to like get those to where you only need one more, and then you pop your XP boost if you have them, and then jump into a game and then mop up that last kill or whatever. So then now if you're able to complete like 2 or 3 challenges in one match because you only needed one more kill, well then now you've maximized how much experience, that double XP experience lasts.
That's a good tip.
I did that this morning.
For the weekly challenges, like completing them all, is it just to complete 4, or is there like a bunch of them you have to complete? Because I can only have 4 at a time.
You can preview them. There's like a list of upcoming challenges. So as you complete them, when you go to that screen and look, there's a button, I think it might be like Y or something, it says at the bottom, and you can scroll down the list of the challenges that are upcoming. The last few always seem like the most difficult, but here's a question I have because I haven't figured it out yet. How many do you have to complete to get the weekly challenge reward? Do I need to complete that entire list? Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, you have to. Well, this week is a little weird because when they reset the challenges with that update, they had to reset everything. But presumably for a standard week in Infinite, you would need to complete like all 20 weekly challenges, or however many there are, 20 or 25, and then
so if you switch them out, you still have to do them eventually.
Right? You could use your challenge swap or whatever, and it just swaps it out with something else. But whatever the total number is, it's like 20 or 25. Then you unlock the like ultimate reward challenge or ultimate challenge or whatever it is, and then once you complete that, you earn the ultimate reward for the week. So for this week, it's the gold.
I have no idea what's going on.
Well,
we'll jump on some evening and I'll talk you through it.
You get an item for completing all 20 weekly challenges.
Well, it's all 20 plus the extra challenge. So General Zad said that there are 20 total, but once you complete all 20, then you unlock a 21st challenge 21, and that specifically will give you the ultimate reward.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
I need to have a little look. Also, something I would like them to maybe do.
Let me just finish this up. But the ultimate... Oh, here you go. It's called Ultimate Challenge. Yeah, Capstone Challenge. Because it's like the ultimate reward for your Capstone Challenge. But for this week, since they reset it with their challenge update, if you just logged in and play, I think on either tomorrow or Tuesday, when the week resets, you'll unlock that gold visor for whichever armor core. But otherwise, that's how you unlock that. And like it'll be interesting to see like how difficult these 20 challenges are, because like the tier 3 challenges where it's like get like 10 kills with a skewer or a banshee, like because of the way the map rotations are, like it's kind of hard to like get those weapons or those vehicles. Like I think one is like get 10 kills with the Wraith. Like I've seen one Wraith.
Oh my god, I've seen like one.
Yeah, and it's like it's so random with the way they did the weapon spawns and the vehicle spawns. So
we can presume that the layout for the multiplayer is only the beta layout, right? There's going to be a more fleshed, like when you go into matchmaking, there's going to be more options than the 3 basic ones they have there, right? You can probably do a game type that's specified that would have more vehicles in it.
I mean, so according to just because I did the Halo headline script, they actually said that like, where is it? All day one maps and modes are enabled. So I think the playlist and stuff because I was like, they just have something, but then when we get to December 8th, there's going to be like a more traditional playlist count, because like there's no like Team Slayer or Team Objective or like Action Sack,
right,
or anything. I guess Action Sack comes later with Forge, because a lot of those game types come out of those things. But yeah, I just feel like the matchmaking pool right now is kind of limited with just big team battle, quick play, and arena. Like I don't always want to sweat, so I'm not always going to jump in arena. But then when I have quick play and big team battle, like there's so many modes and maps to where like it can't they need to diversify it a little bit. Like there are plenty of players, because there's so many people playing this game, that they can divide up to where you have Team Slayer and Team Objective and stuff like that. There's no SWAT game type like.
I feel like the downfall of putting in like all of the objectives and the Slayer together in one is that a lot of people come into Halo and they really only want to play Slayer. So I've seen a lot of people complaining on Twitter that people aren't playing the objective in these games.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, these people probably don't want to play the objective because they don't want to play an objective-based game. They just want to kill people.
They came here to
So I think that's a big disadvantage.
So then, if you diversify and you have a team arena or team Slayer and then team objective, then like those who want to play team Slayer can go into those, and then people who want to do objective game types and will go for the objectives, they'll play that playlist. Or if they have a challenge for like 3 oddball matches, well, if I go into a team objective playlist, then my chances of getting an oddball match is much greater because now I don't have the Slayer game type in rotation that I then have to play through in order to get another game to try to play my oddball match.
Yeah.
So, to circle back with David. Yes, the battle pass stuff is like pretty confusing.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to explain shit to me like every day. Like what are we doing today, guys? Just tell me.
Like the only
they're doing events too. There's like events starting next week.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how that is. And the way events work is that they have specific challenges, but if you complete that specific challenge, you gain a battle pass level. So it's not like any sort of experience based at all. It's just, get 5 kills with the assault rifle. All right, cool. You did that. You did your event challenge. You get your event level, and that sort of event battle pass is kind of basically what it is. But my issue with like this whole challenge and battle pass sort of like leveling system is that I feel that there's just simply not enough ways to just unlock stuff by either it just being there as like a base customizable thing, or just like there's not enough free content for just anyone who wants to play, because like someone like
and the prices are saucy, man. I'll tell you that much too.
They are.
I mean, the regular battle pass is what, $8.99. That's not too bad for a normal battle pass.
Well,
Fortnite is what, $10.50.
Well, no, it's $10.
I have no real concept.
It's 1,000 credits, which I think is $10. But like my point is that like I'm happy to buy the battle pass because I will play this game a lot. I want those extra cosmetics, but what this current battle pass, the way it's set up, is I feel like not the most efficient, because it basically requires any player that wants customization to invest 100 hours into this one battle pass just to get enough customization options to just simply customize their Spartan. Like there should be.
Oh, you're saying there's not enough base.
There's not enough
like
base
customization
stuff
that you unlock from the.
Yeah, that you should just be able to have.
If you look at games like Fortnite and stuff like that, it's the same shit though.
Yeah, I don't know, we'll have to see what changes they make. The only other thing I'd like them to change is to maybe do something. I know they did make it longer, but the like double XP boost thing can be a little bit irritating if you can only unlock one challenge in that entire time, or none. Like you feel like you've wasted it.
That's why you have to kind of like.
If you're
choosing to pop it, at least it's on you.
Yeah. If I put my progression designer cap on, I would infuse the battle pass system with more reach customization, to where like playing matches gives you experience and stuff like it does in Master Chief Collection that goes through your battle pass, and that every time you get 1,000 experience points, you level up your battle pass from just playing and winning matches, and the more medals you get, the more points that you get. And then the challenge system, instead of that giving you XP, that would give you like credits, and then the more credits you have, well, now you can like actually go and buy the cool thing that you want. So then that way you get like a separated progression system for the battle pass and for your customization. So then the battle pass now is like, oh, if I want these cool battle pass rewards, well then I'll put in the time and the skill to earn my experience. But then if I want these other challenges that are free, well, I have to earn through these challenges to get the credits that then allow me to purchase.
I'd like that. I'd like an option to earn those credits and spend them as I want, as opposed to just going for what they're specifically offering in this pass.
So, but they're investigating it. Like a lot of these things were demonstrated during, or not demonstrated, but they were voiced during the flighting. and 343 said that, you know, we hear you guys, we're confident in our system based off your feedback, yada yada, we're monitoring, a lot of that jargon. And what I feel like it's, and I feel like because of how they implemented the system, maybe there's not like an easy way to just fix it. And one of the reasons they said that they've delayed season 2, like another point in here is that season 1 goes until May 2022. So like maybe season 2 is when they come up with this new challenge system 2.0 to kind of almost reinvent the system, since season 1 is already being handled or being received relatively poorly. But that's the optimist in me thinking of that.
Right.
Oh, and I mean, this is still technically a beta. I know they kind of threw the beta word in there so that if there was anything going wrong, they'd be like, "Oh, it's just a beta."
Yeah,
but I think they are.
Did.
Oh, I know. Which I get it, and that's perfectly fine, and I'm totally cool with that. But you know, they are actively listening to feedback and making changes based off of it. So I think as long as people are, you know, giving constructive criticism and not just hating, I think we will be able to, you know, push 343 in the correct direction of what we really want. So, do constructive criticism. Don't flame people on the internet.
Yeah, go back to the default rule. Don't be a dick.
Yeah. Don't be a dick.
Right. Will we jump into the main bit of this episode? Because, like, we
probably should. It's been like 40 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of this that we've actually talked about kind of relates to what we have, but to kind of just intro it all. This is Road to Infinite. We're talking about the preview. So this is kind of just the general information that kind of just goes into Halo Infinite. I feel like the whole point of this series is kind of just a preview to Halo Infinite, because it's the road. We talk about all the different lore topics that may relate to the story, may relate to the gameplay, and things like that. And after 20 episodes, it's a lot to go over. So if you haven't checked up on those, you can go to our YouTube for the past episodes, our website, and all that kind of stuff. Our last episode was 2557 to Infinite, where we kind of broke up the timeline episodes into 2 episodes. And from here, we basically talked about the events of Halo Wars 2 and its DLCs, which took place from March to June in 2557. We talked about the events of Halo Shadows of Reach from October 2557. At the time, we didn't have Halo Divine Wind out, but that has since been out, and you can listen to our book club. That gives a little bit more context in the timeline for the second half of, towards the end of 2557. And then we started to conjecture a little bit about what happened in December when the UNSC quote-unquote lost the war. In spring, we have the Rubicon Protocol novel that hasn't come out yet, but presumably that follows a group of Spartans and a group of Resistance as they fight the Banished during this 6-month battle that took place between December and the beginning of Halo Infinite. And just kind of had some conjectures on what we kind of thought the story would go based off of what we had. So very, very good episode that kind of fills in the timeline. And even the episode before that, where I think it was, what did we do, Aaron? Like 2554 to 2557, something like that?
Yeah.
25, I think something like that. 2556 maybe. Basically the ending of Halo 4. Between those 2 episodes, we cover the ending of Halo 4 to the present. But what this episode will kind of touch on is what is available now, which we've kind of been going over with the launch of the multiplayer, and some of the frustrations and some of the great things that are with it, as well as some of the other characters and information that we just wanted to highlight as we move on. And then we also have some Patreon, or rather patron responses to the multiplayer. So I guess we'll just put the multiplayer conversation on pause, and we'll come back to it, because there's a lot of conversations surrounding that in the Halo community, as well as within our community as well. But the Halo campaign, Halo Infinite campaign, and the quote-unquote full multiplayer, whatever that may be, if it's more than what we have now, launches on December 8th. Aaron put a graphic in the chat that 343 put out. So it basically launches at 10 a.m. Pacific time, which is 1 o'clock Eastern time, and at 6 p.m. GMT. And if you're in a different time zone, then you'll have to do the math on that one. But it'll be a global launch, not a midnight release, like in games past, which would be pretty weird, which is like if you go to the midnight launch at some like Best Buy or whatever, you go buy the game, you buy the disc, you come home and you won't be able to play it. Like, that's kind of weird. But
that's not true, right? You're telling me the campaign won't work?
What?
That's what it says.
I don't believe you.
I'd have to double check that, but based off the tweet that I saw, actually, let me just pull it up because oh wait, that's not it. Where's the tweet?
Why would you even go if that's true?
No one goes to shops anymore.
Here we go.
That
what is
doesn't
this?
exist. COVID killed all that.
Let me pull up the tweet. To quote the tweet, this is from @Halo. Find out exactly when Halo Infinite releases in your region. And it literally says, New York, December 8th, 1 p.m. Eastern. London, December 8th.
That just means they're not going to sell the disc before then, though, right? Like, their midnight launch would actually be a 1 p.m. launch.
I guess.
Bet you... I would be willing to bet that the beta version we're playing now could be listed as something different and not the final version, and that means when you put your disc in before the time, it won't be available because it's a different
it'll probably
because
download
it has both.
I mean, pre-installing is like a thing now, so...
Well, that is
I'm
true.
sure.
I don't know.
Like the weekend before the 8th or like the 7th, the pre-install will be available, so then you can install it, and then they just won't flip the switch until 10 o'clock. And I think that's because it's like a live game. Like, did they even confirm that you can play it offline? Like, is it like Destiny in the Division where you have to play it online?
Oh, I don't know,
I'd imagine it's offline because the second you can't play the campaign without an internet connection, people are going to riot.
Yeah,
they would have told us by now if that was true.
Yeah, I'd be... Plus, it's only single player, there's no co-op, so I'd imagine... I'd like to hope it works offline. Like, if there's no co-op at launch, why would you need to be online? That would be weird, I think. I don't think that would do them any favours, if that was the case.
No, I don't know. Alright, so we have that launch. Right now, the Infinite Multiplayer, as we discussed, is out. It's free to play. You can do the Battle Pass. You can do all that kind of stuff. Like I said, we've already talked about it at length. Apparently, that this is kind of how... It is a beta, technically, so there could be changes. There could be some bugs that the Day 1 patch would then fix, because Halo Infinite has gone gold as of like the 19th. So the game is effectively done. They're just... So they're printing, they're scanning them on the discs and all that, and from here on out, they're just doing maintenance or bug fixes and stuff that will come out with their Day 1 patch. We have our 4 playlists: Quick Play, Bot Bootcamp, Ranked Arena, and Big Team Battle. You can complete challenges through this to progress through the Season 1 Battle Pass, which is called Heroes of Reach. You can earn the armor cores for all of the Noble, 5 of the Noble 5 members, or the Noble 6 members, and then you have your own. And I think there's even some like discrepancy of like how much you can really customize from there. Like, I think you might be locked to those Spartan armors and can't really mix and match or something. I think
the armor kits or armor cores are specific. I think they said something about those are the most like character-like models of those, but you then get components of the armor that you can pick and mix on the like default Spartan that you're using of that class. But the actual specific kit thing, when you click on that, you are as close to the Halo Reach version of Carter as you can be. and then you can't customize that version of it. That's the way it goes. But you then get, I at the minute, because I bought that pass and I bought the level boost XP thing, I have Carter's helmet and that equipped at the minute on my regular Spartan, but I can then go and equip the Carter specific look, but then you can't customize the armor on that. I believe that's the way it is.
I feel like if you equip, hopefully it's like you can earn all the pieces, and if you really, really wanted to, you can equip them all individually, or you could just go over to the saved armor, if you will, and just click that, and then it just equips everything for you.
The best way to describe it is those things specifically, those core kit things, are like a skin. They are not customizable, they are specific. You have, when you equip the Carter kit, it is the Carter skin, and then when you go to the other one, it's a pick and mix of all the components for that suit of armor, or for that type of armor. So you can have George's helmet with different chest pieces and shoulders and all the rest, or you pick the George specific kit or the cat specific kit and you have that exact skin. That's probably like the easiest way to explain it. Yeah, but again, it's all locked behind level 50 of a battle pass, but we'll talk about that later. Let's see, there's the Academy, which has 3 sort of pieces with the Academy. It's the onboarding system that 343 designed for new and even returning players. You have the tutorial, weapon drills, and training mode. And you also have custom games, theater, and then Spartan vanity customization options. You have your weapon customization options and vehicle customization options. And all that's available now. In terms of what we know for the Halo Infinite campaign, it's a Master Chief story, continues the threads of Halo 4, Halo 5, Guardians, and it doesn't really continue Halo Wars 2's story, but there are the obvious links between the Banished. There's some storylines there, and even kind of the ending of Halo Wars 2 might have, like the legendary ending I'm referring to, might have some implications to Infinite. We don't know, but there could be something there. In terms of characters, we have the weapon, which is a different Cortana brain, and this is presumably what Blue Team extracted from underneath Castle Base in Shadows of Reach. And we have the pilot, which is just a UNSC survivor that was stranded in space, discovers Chief at the beginning of the campaign, and kind of explains to them, "Oh, we lost 6 months ago, and I've been stranded here. Like, why don't you know anything?" When he's kind of just really telling the player a little bit of what happened. We also have various banished enemies, because it's all banished occupied areas on Zeta Halo. And the game, like we've discussed numerous times, is very open world. You kind of unlock sections of the ring as you progress through the campaign, and when you do that, it opens up side objectives to where you can go and do these other objectives for additional power-ups and like in-game currency. I've kind of personally strayed a little bit away from some of the kind of like pre-release gameplay footage that has been coming out, but on some YouTube accounts, they were able to play the game early and provide gameplay for like the first 3 or 4 missions with like limited, like next to none in terms of story details, but just kind of general gameplay. Did any of you guys watch those? I've watched very little, but I'm trying to not really spoil anything. But we can chat a little bit about it in a general sense. I'll talk a little bit about it generally. I've watched Halo Cannon's videos so far. At the time of recording, he's just put up the video for the 3rd mission, so I've only seen the first 2. I figured if anyone was going to be careful about like not giving away too many spoilers, it would be Ian. He's usually pretty good about this sort of thing, so like, if you want to go completely blind, don't watch them, but he does a pretty good job of cutting it he has to cut between particular story beats. He can't feature certain things, and he has to pretty much constantly talk over the top of it. So his videos are like around 11 minutes, and you see gameplay and levels and stuff, and that's about it. There are some of the game captions on the bottom, so you hear some of like the in-game banter while you're moving through levels and stuff. You can read it at the bottom, but if you sort of don't look at that part and just like watch the level and see what's going on, they're pretty safe. So I haven't sort of watched any of the others. I figure there are other YouTubers out there who would hopefully be careful, but I have faith in Ian not to like reveal anything too spoilery. So I will probably go and watch the third mission after this and see what's happening with it.
The third mission is actually the one that I watched from him, because I didn't really want to know how the game started. I know it takes place on the ring, and I think the third mission is on the ring. And he even said it, like, I cut out all the cutscenes, I cut out all my audio logs, it's just kind of gameplay. You can kind of read the subtitles a little bit, just for some, I guess, battle chatter. But it's basically nothing more than what we saw last year at the like campaign reveal at the the Microsoft event that they held. So, but yeah, like you have like one could go watch Ian's videos, Green Skull's videos, and a few other content creators out there, and kind of get a little bit more into what to expect from the campaign side. They talk a little bit about the armor upgrading system. We know that's in the game, and kind of how you earn armor cores or like valor. Again, I don't really want to say too much because I don't know what anyone's individual thoughts are regarding spoilers and stuff, but that's kind of what we know. So expect that when you dive in to just be kind of thrown into the story, and you're learning as you go, and you're trying to claim back the ring, and you're upgrading your armor along the way. I did want to talk about the Academy a little bit more since it is out. I guess this is our first true spoiler discussion, I guess, if you haven't played the Academy, because I'm just going to run through what we saw and kind of how the training mode kind of kicks off the multiplayer story, because 343 has talked about them wanting to like have your Spartan be like a Spartan 4, and like you are in the Resistance, so to speak. And this story that the battle passes tell you from each season to season come with different chapters, and you meet Spartan Agrina, and that kind of story, I think, is something that not Palmer. Palmer is MIA. There's a new Spartan who I already love more than Palmer. I mean, I don't hate Palmer, but that's a different conversation.
I have to say, the Academy is pretty dope. Nice. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I like it. I liked how it was laid out. I liked the actual tutorial that they actually have, a in-game built canon tutorial. I thought that was pretty cool. And then like the weapon drills are dope. I think a lot of people already got to those. And bot matches, hell yeah, man! Give me some bot matches. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so like the scene or the cinematic that David's referring to is I think is the season 1 battle pass intro is technically what it's called.
Is it a battle pass thing? Is it? Oh, sorry, I thought it was related specific to the Academy. Okay, cool. So that
do you think
that will change?
Yes, I think with each new battle pass we'll get a new cinematic, and then I think there will be something new to do in the Academy. Because
that's cool.
To kind of, I mean, that's my understanding, and that's kind of what I see based off of the interactions we get in the training. Because you have your intro cinematic. I don't want to jump all the way to the end, so I'm just going to run through it. You have your intro cinematic where you see Spartan Agrina as a teenager in London. We've talked about this before, and she's like evading the brutes, and then we see Spartan 2s or Spartan 3s drop down, really Spartan 2s, but even though they look like Spartan 4s, and come to save the day. This because this is during the Battle of Earth, and then she kind of gets escorted by them during this voiceover, and you see Spartan Agrina in the present, kind of meeting the new recruits and saying like, "Why are we here? What is a Spartan?" And talks about how we are hope. We are. We can be unstoppable if we band together and things like that. And kind of kicks off this super motivational speech, and then it cuts to black, and then it fades in, and the point of view is you as a Spartan, and you're on the Pelican, and she says, she kind of meets you, says that the Covenant took a lot from us, but we're here now, we're here to rebuild, but we've lost touch with the Infinity and the Master Chief and some other people, so we're going to take you to this base, which is the Avery J. Johnson Academy of Military Science. And this is where you then start to play. You run through the kind of linear path and you learn the movements. They tell you how to play with the different prompts. You meet your personal AI. You get a battle rifle, or no, you get an AR, and you do like the weapon drill, and they're like giving you a pat on the back, your thumbs up. And then at the end of this, it kind of you do like an actual bot match. And it's like 2 minutes, and you just slay some bots, and then it takes you back into a kind of like not a cutscene, but what 343 is calling, like, what are they calling it, like cinematic moments or something like that, to where it's not like it's an in-game cutscene that you are witnessing through first person, and Spartan Agrina says, like, you did good, I picked well, but I need to go because, our team's missing and the tides can change at any moment. But, we inspire hope, a lot of motivational talk. And then she says, when I get back, which I will come back, we have a lot of work to do. It's going to be busy because humanity won't save itself. And I think that is supposed to really be like, okay, this is the first chapter, this is the start of an ongoing narrative that 343 is going to put. So then that's why, David, I think...
Didn't she say something like, you keep on training, as if to imply, like, this is what the multiplayer is a bunch of Spartan 4 training on this planet?
Yes, because multiplayer is supposed to still be war games, so, like, war games is technically on the Affinity, but there's probably still some sort of war games equivalent there in the training, or in the Avery Johnson combat.
Yeah, 100%.
Thing.
I assume this ties into, like, the logic for this is that at the end of Bad Blood, the Spartan 4 program is basically packing up and evacuating their training station, and they're hitting the road. So
well, that might still exist. I think this is the one that's off the grid, right? So, like, the station is probably still there, but Cortana knows it's there, so they're moving.
But that's what I figure. That's what this is for. Like, there may not be a dune there, but I figure that, like, is the most logical reason for why you're on this planet on the down low training.
Now, they drop June's. They
drop
June's name a few times in the drills and stuff. When you're shooting, you're like, "Oh, Jin would be proud." And all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. I noticed that too.
I also have a sneaking suspicion. I was talking with Tom about this when we were playing, but I get a very Forge feel from the Academy. Did anyone else get that vibe when you were, like, moving around it? Something about it feels like I would hate to get too excited that was all built in Forge.
Probably was.
Something about that level and the way it looks and the way it's laid out. Like, if you told me that entire thing was built and scripted in Forge, I would believe you.
Probably was. Like, I know what you mean when
it gets the creative juices.
When you say that, like, I know exactly what you mean.
It has that vibe, and when you go and you look at, there's a couple of soldiers standing about doing things. There's one at, like, the front reception desk on a computer, and he goes through the same little animation loop over and over and over, and I'm just like, it just feels like it was put together that way. I don't know, it doesn't seem like it was built, so, like, I'd hate to get excited about the rumours of why Forge has been delayed. Sound like it could be pretty cool. They've been talking about, like, levels of scripting and stuff beyond what was in Halo 5's Forge. So it could be interesting to see where that goes. Like, if every season you got a new place because it was something they like whipped together, or you got an addition or a modification, like that could be really cool.
No, yes, definitely. Forge, unfortunately, is delayed till Season 3, which probably won't come until sometime next fall, which is pretty lame, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think it's a good point. Like, if that is the level of detail Forge is basically the live fire map and the training mode, then, or the tutorial, then that's pretty dope. Let's see. So the last things I'll say is that, yeah, David mentioned this. You have the training mode with the bots. You can customize a bunch of different things, like your starting weapons, the bot difficulty, where you see them. I think I've done a training session before all of my like play sessions that I've had, where I just jump in, I'll change to the BR, I'll do this and that, or I'll switch to a weapon that I need some familiarity with.
Changing the weapons on the fly in the middle of a match is so dope. I was like, let me pause here and give myself something incredible. I'm like, yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, you know what? I don't want to worry about ammo. I'm gonna put infinite ammo. I'm just gonna turn. Like, I like seeing where the enemies are, so then I could just like look and find them more quickly. And I'll sometimes turn the like the allies down to like 2 instead of 3 allies, so then there's less people shooting at them and more of me shooting at the bots. And then I'll keep the difficulty kind of low, so that it's more of just me practicing with the movement and randomness of another player, as opposed to me just trying to like win a fight. So then I'm in pretty good shape to then just hop into a quick play match or a big team battle match. So lots of great improvements there, and just incorporations on new features for this onboarding system that they don't with the Academy. So I'm really excited to see what more comes out of the Academy, because it really seems like that's like the secondary story that's going to be going on in the background to the Halo Infinite campaign as each season kind of comes and goes. And we'll learn more on whatever these Fracture events are and see if that has any story details, or if it's just merely online and kind of just multiplayer events and stuff. All right, so before we wrap up, I have a few responses from our patrons. I asked them what they thought about the multiplayer conversation, and it kind of piggybacks off of a lot of what we've already talked about in the beginning of the show. But we have Physical Sky 128 said the gameplay is fun, but leveling system and customization is hot trash. Weapon pickups feel underpowered. I'd rather keep the pistol over picking up the shotgun or commando rifle. I wish the outlines were only visible from a smaller distance, and the reticle also feels really small with a few weapons. After how well I liked Halo 5's weapons and ballasting, it's highly disappointing that I only find a handful of weapons usable. I agree with some of this. I think there's still a learning curve to a degree, but generally speaking, I'll pick up a new gun and I'll know like its purpose in the sandbox, and because it's new, I'll try to use it, and I more than often lose a gunfight to someone who's just using the AR pistol or BR, because we're just so used to those guns. I will say, I think on the big team battle side of things, I really like how they have incorporated like the shock ammo type, because if you take like a shock rifle and shoot at a wasp, if you like shoot it twice, then it gets disabled in midair and then it just crashes to the ground. And if you are able to keep laying fire on it or chuck a sticky grenade or something, like those types of moments are really cool, as opposed to me trying to find like a Spartan laser or a railgun or an equivalent gun, since those guns aren't an infinite, to basically counter these air vehicles. And then like the dynamo grenades, I think, are like really cool new grenade to kind of disable these vehicles. So I think there's a little bit of a learning curve to still come in there, but yeah, some of the new weapons do feel not that great, and I think there's some balancing that still needs to be done. I don't know if anyone else wants to respond to that.
I also think that's pretty cool. I didn't realize how big of a difference, like how much effort they put into like, this is plasma, this is shock, this is whatever the basic is. the new weapons I've picked up, I've died every single time I've tried to kind of use them. This is again just me being shit, but some of them do feel cool. Like I did, yeah. I actually now that I think about it, the most successful I ever was probably that one time I was in the Gungoose. Now I don't know why that was damn cool, but that and the BR and the pistol just feel good enough. The new weapons, I don't know. It's getting used to. You just got to get used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a learning curve involved, but yeah, I like the heat wave. That's a cool gun.
I think we've talked a lot about most of what he said already. So, like the leveling thing, yeah, I kind of agree. Customization, maybe we'll get there when we get more event armor and stuff. Maybe it'll go a little further. I do kind of wish they'd kept the Spartan ranks along with... I wish they'd done both. I wish like you were getting match-to-match XP with a Spartan rank and also doing challenges for the Battle Pass, and they could tweak both. Like, I think some other games do that as well, but it would at least give people the feeling of some progression, even if the Spartan rank number just went up indefinitely. Like, I don't know, but I've liked a lot of the other stuff. I've enjoyed the few weapons I've played about with. Anything above that is a level of Halo play I don't pay attention to, so I can't give much input on more of the specifics.
All right. Toki McParkomaniac, I think is how you say that. The power weapons don't seem super powerful. Shotgun is terrible. I'm also not liking the outline over enemies. We can see each other from across the map, and I'm just not a fan of that. What are your guys' opinion on the outline system? Because I have thoughts about it.
Feels a bit too strong. Feels a bit too... Like Iman said, you can see so far ahead. I feel like... I don't know. I feel like I'm being seen way more. I don't know. It feels like it... I don't know, it feels too OP.
I get confused more often than not anytime an enemy has like a blue armor coating, because that's the color of my friendlies. And I tried, like in the beta and flighting, I guess in the flighting I had yellow to kind of simulate like popping of shields and stuff like that, and that felt kind of nice. And now I have like the red on, and I don't know, I just haven't found something that I've actually liked. And
it could be like my weird color blindness, but I've settled for like a sort of, I forget what the exact color is, but like the yellow or pineapple. So it's like yellow for friendlies, pineapple or whatever it is for fire team, and then red for the enemies. But I do wish, I think if you could like dial up how transparent it is, because just sometimes with depending on the color, like you said, if you come across a blue enemy or something, my brain instinctively says, oh, they're blue, and then it goes, oh no, fuck, they're highlighted in red, and then by that stage they've probably killed you. So I feel like if you could like maybe dial up or turn down the transparency of the red and make it a little more obvious, that would maybe help. Although I know it defeats the purpose that they want, which is they want you to see the other person's cool armor and paint job. But I feel like it would help me. Changing the enemy or changing the friendly colors to something like bright and obvious. I think I used like the mint color in the flights. That has really helped me a fair bit, because that at least stands out.
Yeah, maybe I should play around with that some more.
I've been okay with the default.
Oh, what's up, Crystal?
I've been okay with the default.
Just the blue and red? You seem to separate them just fine?
Yeah, I haven't had too many problems, really.
Alright.
What do you think about the visibility, Krista?
Yeah, what do you think
like
about
how visible your enemies
the
are
distance
across the map and stuff?
I mean, I think it's fine. It's not something I've really sat and thought about, I suppose. I've just kind of been playing, but no, I think it's fine. I'll pay attention to it a little more in the next coming games, but I think I've been okay with it.
Alright, Pumpkin Spice Steely kind of talks more about his biggest issues. The progression system, the fundamental gameplay is great, but the current time and skill requirements is a huge turnoff for casual players, who are the people that through are targeting the most. That he cares about cosmetics, and he wants to be rewarded for the time he put in. We kind of talked about this in detail, that's kind of the most, like the, kind of the hottest topic right now is the battle pass and progression system. And even, I think, DeSudo down here says that for getting the XP progression and the MP grind has never been my thing. But they seem to have tidied up the glitchy menu training. And then he's played a dozen of matches, and I loved each one of them, and it looks sick as fuck. But it's far more enjoyable than Halo 5, and David has best beard, so some positivity from there. And then lastly, we have second to last, Eslon94. I'm enjoying the gameplay for the most part, but do miss some of the weapons that 343 has developed in previous games, like the saw and the railgun. One of my biggest disappointments...
Hold on. There's no saw in this game? Fuck this game.
Not right now.
I'm uninstalling.
No saw, and no railgun.
Ridiculous.
So, I agree. I really like both those weapons. But, I don't know, 343 says they're going to be adding more games later on. Or more weapons, I mean. And they, it's weird, guys. Like, it's a live game now, so they're not going to come out with everything all at once, and they'll, add more stuff later, I guess, and mix things up, change up the sandbox.
Strange to think of, like, a gun being added into Halo. Like, that's weird to me.
Well, they literally did that with Halo 5.
After launch?
Yeah, Warzone.
Yeah,
they added
all the time.
like the CE pistol.
You're right. I'm so.
They added the grenade launcher from Halo Reach.
Yeah, you're right. I'll shut up now. Edit this out. I'll edit this out.
Did you even play Halo 5, David?
Fuck. Oh, I had this idea in my head that I was like, oh man, I'm gonna burn through all my rec cards before Halo Infinite comes out. Like, I'm just gonna sit down this summer and just pop this shit. I have so many recs I don't use. Let's just do it. And I have not turned on that game if it wasn't for Mission Debrief.
They also added guns in Master Chief Collection. They added some stuff in Halo 3 and things like that.
Orange, shut up. We're over this. Okay, we're editing this bit out. I'm told.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, the last comment comes from Matt. He says playing on your phone absolutely sucks. I don't know why you would want to play Halo on your phone. But Matt, props to you. Sorry, it's not enjoyable.
Fair play.
But yeah, that's all we got. And we're running a little long because we had a lot of talk about it early on in the multiplayer side of it, but that basically concludes this Road for Infinite. It's just kind of a little bit of a preview of what to expect for the game. We're going to be covering it the moment it comes out on December 8th. On our, we have some episodes lined up on kind of how we're going to cover it into the new year. Of course, we have our mission debrief show, which will do a deep dive into every campaign mission. And because of Infinite's mission structure, we're still kind of figuring that out till the game comes out, but there'll probably be some other topics to discuss in terms of like the forward operating bases you can seize and the high value targets you can eliminate. So there'll be more to report next year for that. But, stay tuned and we'll be sharing with you Halo Infinite and what we think of it over the coming weeks after it launches. So thank you guys for coming with us on this huge road. This is actually, I didn't realize I'd have this kind of like reflective conversation, but considering we've been doing this for 20 episodes now over the last 2 years, that it's, I think it feels pretty great. And I think it's just now hitting me that Infinite's right around the corner. All I had to do was do this last episode for me to realize that Infinite's almost here.
And we finally learned the most important lesson, that the best part of Halo was the episodes we made along the way.
Aww.
Just While we're talking about Infinite stuff, by the time this episode gets out, I'm hoping most people will realise, and you will probably discuss it in the headlines that we record shortly, but there are supposedly a lot of spoilers now up online. Allegedly, according to the our Halo Reddit, Infinite has been leaked. The entire game, apparently, that's what it says. So be very careful. I saw a few folks in a Facebook group I'm in say that they had seen the full intro on YouTube. So just be vigilant if you're out there and you're on social media and you're doing anything. The last 2 missions with Ian and Halo Canon will probably be the last Infinite content I consume for the next couple of weeks, because this is the Halo 4 thing all over again. If anyone remembers, Halo 4 fell off the back of a truck and people had the game finished about a week and a half early, and I had the ending of that spoiled. But at the time I thought it was so outrageous I didn't believe it until I was playing that final mission. I was like, oh fuck, it was true. So just watch out. With the That's all we're saying. Game of Thrones. Yeah, it tends to happen with a lot of stuff. I didn't expect Infinite to be fully out there 3 weeks early. I know before now the big spoiler was back in the first flight they had the mission names and stuff in the files, and those were out and about. But now we're just full on. Apparently the whole thing's out there, so be careful guys if you're out and about. That's I think all we can do from now until it comes out. Right, will that do us then for this week, guys?
I think so. Take us home.
All right. Like we mentioned at the top of the show, you can find everything we make over at halopodcastevolve.com. You can go there and get the feeds for all of our unique shows and see all of the wonderful work Ian puts into the website. If you want to listen to everything all in one feed, follow Halo Podcast Evolved on your favourite podcast service of choice. Once again, special shout out to all of the patrons for supporting us. You guys help make everything possible. If you would like to learn more about becoming a Patreon, go to patreon.com/Halo Podcast Evolved to learn more. And finally, if you would like to leave us a voicemail about your thoughts on the flight, or the flight, I keep calling it flight, about the beta or anything else Halo Infinite related, don't send spoilers because we get a text warning before we open it. But you can leave a voicemail at 205 Evolved. That's 205-386-5833, and we will listen to those on the next live episode. And with that, I have been your host Aaron, and until next time, Evolved.
Evolved. Evolved.